Hello everyone, I'm Professor Nirav, LG Institute of Technology. So, today we are going to discuss a topic called automobile component. This session is about design of its design process. So, before getting into this design process, let's talk about our previous topic of how this connecting node algorithm and function has been set. Material selection, manufacturing process, we have gone through that. So now we will going to set up the procedure to designing this connecting. So to design this connecting rod, our first step is to understand what this connecting rod is and what kind of different dimension we are going to do. So connecting rod is a connecting component between piston and crankshaft. And it is also subjected to buckling load because it is a structural part, or you can say it is a part which is considered as a short pull. So there are mainly a four section we are going to design. One is dimension of cross section of the connecting rod. As you can see here, the shank part, or you can see there. Here you can see it is the shank part, or this is the part which we are going to we are talking about. This dimension of your crank cross section area. Then dimension of the crank pin at a big end. This is the big end. You can see here. This is the big end. So dimension of this big end. Then dimension of the dimension at small end, which is also pin dimension. So after setting up a dimension of design, this big end and small end. After that, we are going to determine size of this bolt which is connected to this big end with our body, because this big end is mainly a disconnected. You can say there are multiple parts. One is its cap. This area from this separating line. Here, this area from this separating line is called big end cap. Here, this is called bolts. These are the bolts which are subjected to a crushing or shear stress. They are subjected to shear stress, which we have previously talked about. Here, this big end is subjected to bending stress. Here, and the small end is subjected to bending stress and crushing stress. So here, in this case of this hole, is also comes under crushing. And after this, we are going to design thickness of this big end cap. Okay? So mainly we are going to design this connecting root in four parts. One is its cross section at its strength. Another is dimension of the crank pin at a big end and small end. Here, and then a design of that bolts is connected our big end with our body, and then thickness of the big end. So these are our mainly procedure of design. Now we are going to get into design of this different section in one by one. So first, our design is about this cross section area of our connecting rope. So cross section area is mainly a I section. Here you can see it's a I section. Here, so in this I section, its thickness, which is upper part and lower part, is called flange, and the center part, which is connected to this both of these flange, is called web. And thickness of this flange and web is T. Here you can see the thickness of flange and web is T, and all the dimension, which is height of this web and height of this flange, is also in terms of T. Here overall height is 5T, and the height of this web is 3T, and the thickness of web and flange is only T. So and the base of our connecting rod I section is 40. Here, let's repeat once again. Height of Overall height of this connecting rod is 5T. Overall base of this connecting rod cross section area is 40. Height of this flange is 3T, which is subtracted by thickness of this flange, and thickness of web also is T. Here, so you have cleared about this the dimension which we have considered. Now the question is this: how we have considered this dimension? These are standard dimension which are applicable in any kind of connecting. So while designing this kind of connecting node, you should always remember this is standard dimension which can be applicable in each and every connecting node you are dealing. Here, if it is IC engine, diesel engine, or it is petrol engine, or any type of engine, there is connecting road, then you have to consider this kind of standard dimension. Okay, so these are the standard dimension for your connecting road. Then the cross section area of the connecting road. Let's discuss about the cross section area of the connecting road. So what will going to be our cross section area for the connecting road? So connecting roads cross section area, here you can see total area of this flange and web. Clear? There are two flanges and one web. So ultimately cross section area will going to be like this: area of 2 into flange plus area of web. So what could be the area of this flange? Flange area will 40 into T, because base is 40, it's a rectangular area. So base is 40 and thickness is T. Clear? And what is the thickness of our, what is the area of our this web? So web height is 3T only. Here you can see 3T. Height of web is 3T. Yeah? And thickness of web is T. So it will be 3T into T. So 3T square and 4T square. So summation of that will going to be our final area. So what will be our summation of both of these? So here you assume this, here we have calculated the area of the flange, which is 40 into 2, which is 40 square, and there are two flanges. So that's why 2 into 40. So ultimately 8T square, it's the area of flange, plus 3T square, which is area of web. So ultimately cross section area of this connecting road will going to be 11T square. So just remember this, cross section area of connecting road will going to be 11T square. Clear? Then the length of the connecting road, clear? Total length of our connecting road, which is from center of eye of our small end and center of the eye of our big end. That will be area of connecting road. After that, the yield stress, which is compressive stress. Clear? Compressive stress. What is compressive stress? Compressive stress will mainly dealing with your connecting road, which is, when it is comes under short column theory. So for this compressive stress, we are going to determine the working stress or working load on this component while considering Rankine's compressive theory. So our connecting load will subjected to compressive stress, which is defined by Rankine's theory. This connecting load is subjected to compressive stress, and then after it will connected subjected to different types of stresses. Okay? And the load which is generated due to this compressive stress, it is called buckling load, and this buckling load will going to determine our cross section. We have to determine our cross section area which can withstand this buckling load. Clear? After that, we have to design this for our limiting criteria for, because due to this buckling load, it can be tend to buckle into x-axis direction. Here you can see x-axis cross section area and y-y direction. So it can be buckle at the, both the direction. We have to find that minimum moment of inertia where it can be yield easily. Okay? This is the radius of gyration which we can be it can be applicable in while considering this moment of inertia. So these are going to be our input criteria. Okay. After that, let's got into our design of this dimension of this connecting node. First of all, as we have told, as I have told you, we have to find buckling load at x-axis and buckling load at y-axis. At x-axis, clear? In last slide, we have seen that in at x-axis it will be comes as a I-axis, clear, and it at the y-axis it will be I-y-y. So according to this I-axis and I-y-y, we have considered kxx, which is radius of gyration, and kyy, whichever is higher we will going to design depend on for that only. Clear? Because the higher the load, it will try to buckle on that cross section area also. Clear? So here you can see this is the equation: sigma c into a divided by 1 plus a into L upon kxx square, where L is total length, kxs is radius of gyration, sigma c, which is compressive stress, a is cross section area, small a, which is constant depending on different types of material. Clear? In the case of mild steel, it is 1 upon 7500. In the case of wrought iron, it is 1 upon 9000, and it is in the case of cast iron, it is 1 upon 1600. Here you can see how it going to be buckle in the direction of xx direction and yy direction. Clear? After determining both of this load, we have to consider this what will going to be kxx and kyy. For that, we have to determine our I, ixx and iyy. Here you can see ixx and iyy. For ixx, we have to design, we have to, how you are going to consider this ixx? To design this ixx, we have to consider I section from horizontal plane. Here you can see from horizontal plane. Here in previous slide, we have talked about horizontal plane, like let's get